Yeah, it seemed like anytime I
Yo,
try to do early, my Rockfin
yo.
stuff don't want to act right. Uh, let's see. Let me see if I can get
Oh,
Rockfin to come
and
on.
it would happen like that.
It kicks me out for some reason. I have it set to stay logged in. Oh, there we go. And I guess we live.
Oh,
Apologies for the
that's right.
wait,
Oh shit! I
everybody.
just got a notification. Yeah, I
You
just got
just got the notification
a notification on the phone. I can't tell you the last time I saw that shit.
for Rockfin.
Yeah, normally that shit don't happen. So all right, whatever. I'll take it. No,
Okay.
for YouTube.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of people
Yeah,
been saying.
that normally doesn't happen,
Well, what they figured is
which is
if we get to
random,
show
man.
up
So what's
to
going
it,
on, Marcus? How you doing, man? How was your week?
it was eye opening. That's what I'll say. Eye opening.
Uh oh.
I've been digging deeper into this research that I was carrying on last week and looking back at some old shows, and it's a lot that I want to go into. Definitely. It's just a lot. Shout out to everybody in the look like you got somebody at the door. Um, but yeah, hello to everybody out there. I see we got Meteor Dreams in the building. KRS2 says Tupac not in Puerto Rico, I guess. I guess not. Around the world, D and friends, good to see you. And Warren is in the building. And then let's skip over to the Rockfin side. Um, I see a couple of people over there. They haven't started chatting yet, but welcome to the stream. Um, tonight's topics. I know that we have some of it in the title, but I got some interesting stories that I want to share with you guys all. But tonight we definitely will be talking Tupac. We'll be talking the passing of Diane Feinstein, um, RFK, couple of possible highlight. I mean, couple of what's the word? Developments. That's what we'll say. A couple of developments possibly, and then we'll just kind of talk about what we think on it. We won't go super long tonight. We'll definitely try not to, but there's a couple of things to go into. Um, the strikes.
Oh, and
Yeah.
Marcus, don't worry. I won't pull the fire alarm on you. Okay.
Like Bowman. Oh boy. Accidentally, right?
Son, that shit is accidentally. That shit is so pathetic. Like, for the people who don't know, because this happened earlier today, right? Uh,
Hmm.
the government was supposed to have a vote on keeping the government open, right? And the Democrats wanted to delay the proceedings. They had no way of delaying the proceedings. So, New York Representative Jamal Bowman pulled the fire alarm like he was in high school. So Congress was unable to complete the vote because this pendejo pulled the fire alarm. And then he told the people, actually he was detained and he's being questioned by Capitol Police and everybody else. The embarrassing thing is they caught him on picture. They got a still picture
There you
of
go. He's on
him
camera.
with
Yeah.
his hand. Yeah, they got him on camera pulling the fire alarm. I mean, this dude is what? I would assume he's in his 40s, maybe his 50s, whatever it is, but he's been embarrassing himself from the time he got to Congress. This is par for the course for Jamal Bowman, Mr. Heavy Tongue. Pause, because when you watch him talk, you can see his tongue is extra heavy and shit. Like his shit weigh as much as his head because his head look heavy. Pause. But yeah,
Big milk dud
but
ass head.
you exactly, milk dud ass head for real. But the thing about this is so very childish, and it's very much on brand for this version of democratic politician that we're living with in the 21st century. They do nothing, they talk a lot, and they pull junkie stunts, like that.
Hmm? Uh-oh,
But
did we
no,
lose?
you know, it, no, we good. Um, But Bowman, his girlfriend who likes to cry at gates and all white, you know, uh, they're all just clowns. The squad turned out to be like the acting squad. You know what I mean? Because that's all they do is act. They don't do anything else. But I mean, we don't have to dwell on that. But I just wanted to let you know in case I feel stuck this evening, or I don't know the answer to something, or I'm about to sound stupid. Promise you, I will not pull the fire alarm. Okay. I got out of high school maybe yesterday. You know what I mean?
Man, it's just, I don't know. I look at what's going on in there, and it's like, is this like you guys are really taking this shit serious, right? You guys are still taking politicians seriously. Like, what was that? I just
Yeah.
saw somebody say something in the chat that I was like, really? I think it was Meteor said Jimmy's audience does not like pasta Jordula. Interesting. I wonder what kind of stuff are
I
they saying?
haven't.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I
I haven't.
honestly haven't been watching.
Yeah, me neither. So I can't say what the comments are about the content or about him hosting it. I mean, I can't speak to that. I don't know
I
if
mean,
maybe he said the wrong thing one day and that just made them mad at him for that time period. Or I don't know if it's like just a regular thing in which the viewers ain't really too fond of him. But again, I don't know.
well, and that makes me also wonder because Jimmy was talking about that, Cornell West needs to try to appeal like more to his audience. And I'm like, if Pasta is not appealing to his audience, then I don't know how the hell Cornell West would even have a chance. Because
So do you
Pasta
have
is
to say? So does Cornell have to say like, "Hey, look, I'm not going to make Black issues a focal point of my campaign. I'm going to make strengthening unions and fighting climate change, and protecting trans rights." Does he have to say those things in order for that particular audience to jump on board? I don't get it because
no, they wouldn't.
I just thought
No,
it was
that wouldn't
understood
work.
he's working towards the same thing they want, right?
No, that wouldn't work. That's the
Oh,
complete opposite. You'd have to be like, no, I'm not down with trans rights. I'm not down with this. I'm not down. So honestly, Jimmy's audience tends to be more. Now, I'm not saying that it's not exclusively, but the majority and most vocal part of his audience seems to be more of a libertarian, right leaning audience at this point. Now, I'm not saying that means that Jimmy is right leaning. I'm not saying exactly what he is because I think that he kind of has some views that would be classified as typically right, maybe left. But I mean, well, and also he doesn't really declare all of his views. I mean, most content creators don't declare all their views, so you can't necessarily say what a person exactly is. But his audience definitely leans more towards a libertarian right, whereas I think Pasta is more kind of in this what did they call it? I'm trying to remember what they said. Where they were they're trying to make MAGA communism kind of thing work or something like that, where they're trying to take the far left and the far right and mesh it together. And I do know that Pasta was kind of at least from what I remember, he was trying to kind of go into that kind of like Jackson Hinkle was talking about, but it I don't see how you merge the two. I can get, intentions but I just don't see how the two merge together. I just don't get it. And it looks like what Jackson has done is Jackson has kind of just said, well, screw it. I'm just going to kind of go with the right and leave anything of the left kind of not even mention it. So I don't, that's what I'm saying. When it comes to content creators, unless there's somebody who's explicitly telling you how they feel on every topic, then you don't know exactly how they are. But I know what his audience definitely leans towards. Yeah. Oh, Curtis saw that. I said, I saw Steve say on X Jamal's gaff was an Oppenheimer. And I responded to that tweet was like, most of these people don't even know who, because it's talking about his wife as an Oppenheimer. Most people don't know who the Oppenheimers are. nor even know like the most famous Oppenheimer what he is famous for. I mean, they don't. I'll leave it at that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Jimmy's audience is libertarian, right? I don't know why they wouldn't like pasta. He kind of seems like he leans that way. Meter says they don't like Goombas. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm saying it's, this week is the week of ridiculousness, just even from the headlines and, everything that's happened has just been kind of crazy. You have this asshole pulling a fire alarm. They finally found Tupac's killer after
Well, let's
after
not get
that
ahead of the
dude being
cart. Let's not
deep
because
glad
we're gonna talk about that later. We're gonna
night.
talk about that later. Say we're gonna talk about that later because that's more to get in depth with. We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
But what?
So I mean, Feinstein.
You heard about whatchamacallit, right? Trudeau in Canada, right?
What about him?
That they were basically honoring a Nazi. They gave him a standing ovation.
Oh, you mean whenever they had yeah, whenever they were in their parliament and they was like cheering for that 90-year-old Nazi soldier or whatever it was. Yeah, it was wild shit. Then they did a lot of talking afterwards. Instead of just saying like, yeah, we fuck with them and leaving it at that or not saying anything, they were just doing a whole bunch of stupid explanations. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Let's see. Let me pull up.
It was weird. They was trying to justify it, like, oh, he hates Putin now, so it's okay. He was a Nazi.
Yeah, they're just trying to politicize everything now. It's like, no, you just made a big, huge fuck up. That's what just happened, and just own up to the fact that you screwed up. Go ahead, take the heat for a while. You guys should have done, and I'm not even gonna say they should have done more due diligence. Most of these people are fucking idiots. Period. That's the reason why they're so easily led to following whatever the U.S. tells them to do.
We were it's ironic. We were just discussing the ADL a couple weeks ago. Where were they? They was quite silent on that particular issue, right? Which we know they would be silent on it, but
they're caught in a quandary right now because
of course
they're like, okay, so we're rooting for Ukraine against Russia, but we don't like this, so let's just like kind of do the Homer Simpson creep back into the hedge right now. I mean, they don't really know how to handle this.
That's physically what they did. They did back up into the hedges. If any other politician or any other government did that and it was found that that was a Nazi, the ADL would have think pieces. They'd be on Meet the Press. They'd be lined up with Anderson Cooper. They'd be on with Maddow. They'd be on, every media publication they can. And this is evidence of a rise in anti-Semitism and all the other bullshit that they like to use. But when they actually do honor a Nazi, it's like it's crickets over there. They were Homer in the bushes chilling. Maybe they rolling something up. I don't know.
And we're talking about like a literal like collaborator with the actual 1930s, 1940s, the OGs. We're not talking about somebody who is some kind of supremacist here in America and who said a whole bunch of stuff and burned some crosses. We're not talking about somebody like that. We're talking about somebody who actually put people in the ground over this cause.
Correct.
So this is hilarious.
Very weird.
I did I told you that I did have some little news stuff, and I'll just kind of skim over it. I won't really go into it deep because I know that there's other stories that people have tuned in that they want to hear. But definitely Jim. I mean Hamza. I don't know if he's part of it. I really don't think that he is completely in tune with what's going on. Not all the way up. Anthony says Poland acid for his ass. I really don't think people like Jimmy they don't understand what it's all the way up to that level. They really believe like if you can get the right people in Congress and do this, then
Hamza,
things
what's
could
up?
magically get better. I really do believe that they think like that. So, I mean, I can't take a lot of I don't want to say I can't take a lot of these people seriously, but I know that these people are not seeing what we're seeing because they're still stuck in believing that like electoral politics. And if you could just get the right people and we can just organize this, and they really do still believe that. So I'm not going to attack them for what they believe, but I'll say that I just know that they're not going to see things from the viewpoint that we do because they still think like that. So I wanted to tell you guys about something. I don't know if you guys have heard at all, but right now, kind of off topic, trade between Russia and China is booming. Did you know that, Chris?
Yes, I did. I had to go and look for that. That's not something that they actually broadcast in our media.
Yeah.
But if you do follow some international news, they will tell you that this partnership between them is flourishing. That whatever negative effects that the West is trying to have on Russia and or China, it's not working, and it's not working in the way it would have in the 1950s or 60s. Despite the sanctions, despite the backroom deals, despite the bullshit, the two of them continue to thrive in doing business with each other. What does that mean for the average Russian? What does that mean for the average Chinese person? That we'll have to go further in depth for. But, on its face, the two countries are doing just fine. And that's in the face of static from several other countries. It's not just the United States messing, trying to fuck with either country.
Yeah, I figure I'll just read a little bit of this for everybody so you guys can know. And the reason why I'm on to some of this stuff, I will give I normally typically wouldn't advertise anybody, but I do. This is one of my news sources that I keep up with. It's called Ground News, and they have a lot of different stories that you normally won't have. That's the reason why you guys will hear me bring up stuff that nobody else is talking about. It says the surge in Chinese goods flowing into Russia has resulted in a significant number of shipping containers piling up in Russia, causing a decrease in secondhand container prices in the country. China has become an important economic line for Russia, with bilateral trade between the two countries increasing by 32% in the first 8 months of 2023. This includes a surge in Chinese exports to Russia and an increase in Chinese energy purchase from Russia. The trade imbalance and surplus of shipping containers in Russia are attributed to the types of goods exchanged, such as Chinese purchases of Russian raw materials and Russian exports of crude oil to China. So I just wanted to put that out there because the more and more like we have these candidates who are talking about pushing back against China and doing all this, and they want to do this against China, and they're against Russia also. All you are doing is forging these nations closer and closer together. That's all you have going on there. And then another story to kind of shift gears and keep things moving. I don't know if you guys have noticed it or not. Hopefully, you guys have noticed that New York recently declared. Let's see. Before I skip to that, let me read Anthony's. And he says, "What happened was Russia and China knew what the West would do. What a game of chess that the West wasn't prepared for. Complacent morons." Exactly. Well, what it is they're so behind. They're not realizing it. Well, what it is it's like somebody where they've been on top so long, it's hard for them to feel like that anybody's improved that can touch them, and that arrogance and overconfidence starts catching up with you for a while. Yeah, Hamza, Jimmy lives in West Hollywood, but you got to remember also another thing. For a lot of these people, as your quality of life gets better, most of the time, since you're not feeling something or going through something, a lot of these people don't care as much. So they're not paying attention to every little thing that's going on. They only pay attention to certain issues that they feel directly impact them. And so that's how you have a lot of these wealthy people who become single interest voters, or they push only on certain causes because they can actually see impact, positive or negative, and they have the ability to will some kind of force in that manner. So that's kind of what it is. Jimmy was injured by the serum, we'll say, and it seems like since then this has been his number one issue. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'll leave it at that. Stephen, one of us weren't allowed to. Yeah, I heard something about the UN thing. I really didn't even pay attention to that.
Jimmy Dore spoke at the UN.
Yeah, I heard
Is that
something
what they're
about it.
saying?
I didn't know if it was serious or not. I didn't pay too much attention to it though. So I won't comment on it, pro or against, because I don't know enough about it. Let's see. And I want to put this out.
My man, Streets.
You guys
My
have not
dog
paid
Streets.
attention.
What's up, man?
Says
emergency in New York. A deluge, 2 months worth of rain falling on the city in 24 hours, causing severe flooding in some areas. Smart Theodore is here with the latest as things dry out a bit. Smart, good morning.
Good morning. So yesterday's powerful moisture-laden storm capped off New York City's second wettest September on record, as torrential rainfall left those in transit in dangerous and simply impossible situations.
This morning, New Yorkers drying out after a dangerous deluge left many areas underwater from record-breaking rain. Over the last 24 hours, unrelenting rain turning roads into rivers, cars stranded as people flee for dry ground, and millions of New Yorkers urged to shelter in place. In New Jersey, a state of emergency, floodwater swamping roads, making travel dangerous and nearly impossible. In Fairfield, watch as a firefighter hoists a driver over his shoulders, rescuing him from the stranded car in the middle of a flooded street, one of at least 18 rescues throughout the region. In New York, states of emergency in New York City and the Hudson Valley, one of the Big Apple's wettest days on record, with more than half a foot of rain falling. The NYPD sharing video of this sea lion that escaped from its enclosure due to the flooding, but returned without leaving the zoo. The torrential downpour sending water cascading down stairs at subway stations. The system coming to a complete halt as rain poured through openings and cracks. This video showing water shooting out of the wall at the 7th Avenue subway station in Manhattan.
Get off right here.
Riders on the city bus in a panic as water surges inside. Drivers abandoning their cars on the FDR highway on Manhattan's east side. At the city's LaGuardia Airport, one terminal shut down as waters rise. More than 1,000 flights canceled or delayed. Hard-hit Brooklyn, receiving nearly a month's worth of rain in just a few hours. Vehicles plowing through flooded roads and floating trash. A whirlpool forming over a storm drain. Brooklyn's 4th Avenue looking like a lake. SUVs creating waves as drivers test their luck despite the dangerous conditions.
And you know what's wild about all this? As we see the ramifications of climate change persist, events like this will be more frequent. So let's see.
no, yeah. I don't want to get into the whole climate change, blah 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 argument. Yes or no? I mean, I don't know. For me, I just still have a hard time. Whether it's not, I'll just say I'd have a hard time believing that they got a machine up there that's just creating rain in one particular area. I have a hard time buying some of that stuff and that. Yeah, let me just whip up a tornado real quick. Well, I can believe a tornado, but let me just whip up a hurricane real quick, and we're gonna tear up about like 6-7 states. Got it, no problem. I have a hard time buying that part when I hear people start talking about the climate change agenda, because this ain't something that normally happens. And then I did notice something that was interesting in there. They said that it was the worst flooding since 1948. I believe that they can modify weather, but I don't believe that you controlling whole giant storms that are going for hundreds of miles. I look at in the military what I just saw with weapon systems that we dealt with. How much of the time that shit fucked up or broke, I have a hard time believing. You can tell me these same people that can't send us proper gear that works, can control stuff to this level and sophistication and make it work on a regular basis, I have a hard time buying it. But yeah, I noticed that Warren said that
Marcus,
there's a lot of the flooding.
I see a lot of, I'm gonna just be honest, I see a lot of stupid talk. Everybody's always looking for conspiracy, not in this chat, I'm saying like online. I saw a lot of talk about, oh, it's the government, they just want the property, blah, 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 blah. No, first of all, if you know New York, you know it's an old city, you know maintenance, what is that? You know, especially of large systems, you know, to prevent flooding. You know they're well behind the 8 ball. You know what I'm saying? It rained a lot over the last week. This wasn't just 1 or 2 days worth of rain or 1 or 2 days worth of water. You know, there was a lot of rain. There was a lot of water. You know, the drainage system is not the best. If you see it, you know it. It's going to lend itself to this whenever you get rain in the amount that certain parts of New York City got the rain. For me, the aftermath is crazy, right? Because the street, New York already dirty as it is, right? Like, let's just get that out the way. This is a dirty place. One.
Yeah.
Not as bad as maybe like San Francisco, because that place is dirty as hell too.
All right. Well, LA is much dirtier than San Francisco.
Is it? Oh wow. Okay. See, I know
way dirty. It's way dirtier.
Okay, but I thought San Fran was dirty too. And New York definitely dirty. You know what I mean? But anyway, you know, all the water that's just gonna sit around all over these. Yo, it's gonna be all kind of fucked up everywhere. All the rats is all over the street. They're finding all these mice all over. Like, no, streets. Streets. If you go on Instagram, look up Rats of New York or New York Rats. There are dozens of videos at this point with all the rats and mice running around the street now, or are on the sidewalks now because they got flooded out. So all the rats, the mice, the roaches, they all gonna be on the move because all their habitats are just fucking altered. I don't want to be there. I don't suggest nobody eat out in New York. I know people be, the economy and all that other shit. I don't suggest you eat outside from nowhere. You go to the supermarket, buy your shit, make sure it wasn't wet, make sure, you know, but nah, I wouldn't suggest eating out because, you know, everybody tries to save $1. So who knows what supplies was touching that nasty fucking water. You don't know what was doing what. Nah, don't do it. Save your coin. Look, there's a lot of fucking recipe shows and cooking shows on all these social media platforms. Go find one and learn something, because eating out in New York, especially parts of Manhattan and Brooklyn, nah, you play with your life even more than you ordinarily do. So mess around, get some food out there if you want. You know what I mean? But there's no good. Let me just wrap it up though. Can the powers that be control weather and do shit like that? Yeah, I'm sure they can have some kind of influence, but to do what they did over the last 6 to 7 days in New York, highly doubtful. That shit was, you know, it's a combination of the water and maintenance issues in this city.
Yeah,
look, Warren said it. Bubble tea cups.
Well, and then I want to throw in another thing also, because like, for people who, maybe some people who live in drier areas that don't have a lot of rain and heat, the gnats and the mosquitoes is about to be horrendous.
The maggots, just all over the place, just sitting there, just all the dead cats, because you know New York has a major problem with rodents and feral cats, in case people didn't know. Yo, it's a dirty ass place, yo. I swear to God.
Yeah, well, a lot of those cities up in the Northeast are gross. Somebody was Meteor was talking about due distance. I won't talk bad
Okay.
about those guys. I don't know them. I don't. I've seen them do some stuff that I didn't really. I've seen them have some commentary I didn't agree with, but I've heard them make some commentary I really agreed with. So I'm not gonna go and diss them. But
Just who?
Meteor said the duo distant jackoffs. I'm not gonna call those guys jackoffs. I mean, I think that they're being sincere in their commentary, and sometimes I think that they do some damn good work. Sometimes I
I don't know
disagree
who
with
they
their
are.
takes. They're both out of New York. Also, and I think Warren has been on the show. He's guest hosted with them. So yeah, I
Okay.
mean, I don't have no beef towards them. I mean, I definitely, if they were interested in coming on here, I'd have them on the show, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think, some of that stuff up there, they're all about culture war. Well, that's what I'm saying. I've only watched some of their stuff. I don't watch everything to know all what they're talking about to even have a a really qualified opinion. Um, I feel like I need to watch a lot more of somebody before I start making decisions on it. Um, I guess on the Rockman side, you have Brent over here who says, from the YouTube channel link post, also noticed that the powerful WSR88D ground-based microwave transmitter on the rainfall totals around the transmitter. If you're not familiar with the weather options, derivatives, and disaster/catastrophe bonds, see website. I'll check it out. I will give it an honest take and assessment. I just know that definitely in, I would say, our segment of alternative media, because I feel like you have the part of alternative media which is kind of more the fallout from the Bernie Sanders kind of wing, where some of them might have been Bernie, some of them might have been Tulsi, and that you kind of have that wing of people who are out here, and of course you got all those other, like the Young Turk type indie media, which is like basically Democrat adjacent. And then you have the ones like us, which are a little bit more past the electoral politics and more open to, well, we know that our government is full of shit and that it is extremely corrupt, and so we're down for listening to that. And I think out of that lens, we do have a lot of people who lean heavily into conspiracy and don't always vet everything thoroughly. So I will definitely give it a check. And thank you for joining. The first time I've seen you in the live. Hopefully we see you more. Hopefully we don't piss you off and run you away like we do some people. Let's see. Yeah, I don't take Jenk serious at all at this point. Jenk is about the grift. He's no different than what is that name? Breaking Points. Same shit with them. This is another story that has to do with New York. So I wanted to show this one. What was it? Where is it at? Sorry, I got a bunch of kids screaming in the background, so get a little distracted. Where the hell did it go? Thought I already had it. Oh, there we
Thomas,
go.
what's up, man? I had the same question. Like, that dude is not even born in the United States, so how is he going to run for president? So it's just a money grab.
According to
Did they change the law?
Well, I was going to say, according to Dr. Shiva, there's an argument to be made there about what is it about? I'm drawing a blank on what the specifics of what he was saying, but naturalized citizen. I mean,
Okay.
I think he was making he was denoting that there was kind of inconsistency in the claim, how it's laid out legally, and there are holes in it. And he gave a precedent case where somebody actually challenged on that and ran on those grounds and won. And so I'm like, I want to sit back and wait a little bit before I go on the, whether or not a citizen. Well, I'm gonna do some more research on it before I make my judgment. My expertise is in weapons and security, so when it gets into some of this stuff, getting into legal matters, I'm a little hesitant to just jump in and say yay or nay, or any kind of technology that I'm not, have a good amount of knowledge on. I'm a little hesitant, but this is what I wanted to share.
I always thought you had to be born, in the United States or on a base.
I thought so too, but he was making a compelling case for it. So I mean, I'll have to look into that. But this is also I saw this story too. NASA scientists believe New York City is sinking. Check this out.
New York City is actually sinking.
That's tough to digest in and of itself. Fox's Sharon Crowley now spoke with one of those experts about what's happening in the nation's largest city.
We do see some spots along the coast that are sinking quite a bit faster than others.
NASA scientists believe parts of New York City are sinking, albeit ever so slowly, fractions of inches per year. Still, something scientists are watching closely.
We have found that there are some spots that are sinking much faster than others. And this, of course, makes flooding concerns of greater concern in certain areas.
Brett Bazanga is an earth scientist at the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and he's one of a team of researchers that analyzed the upward and downward vertical land motion in the New York City metropolitan area from 2016 to 2023. He says basically parts of the city are built on landfill, and those are sinking the fastest. Those areas include the Holland Tunnel, Arthur Ashe Stadium in Queens, the southern part of Governor's Island, Battery Park City, and LaGuardia Airport.
There's some landfill that some sites have been built on, including parts of LaGuardia Airport, and these we see sinking a bit faster. We also see that the Arthur Ashe Tennis Stadium is sinking quite fast, and we know a few years ago that they had to have a special roof built because they knew about this problem. So it's a very nice light cloth roof that they use there.
Scientists hope this information can help city planners, especially when it comes to flooding.
I think the key takeaway here is that not everywhere is sinking at the same rate. And so really being able to devote resources and being able to just kind of know these different areas and how they're changing in relation to one another is a way that resources can be allocated in an efficient way.
Well, in case right about now you're wondering why this is happening at all, scientists tell me it's really a combination of what we can control and what we can't. Human behavior and natural forces dating back to the Ice Age. Sharon Crowley, Fox 5 News.
You missed that sound, Chris?
I mean, I don't know. It's ironic that who was that? A station out of Texas was reporting. Was that a Texas station? It was Houston.
What was it? Was it? No. She's in New York. Well, no, the station is. It's Fox in Houston, but she's out in New York.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. But what I was saying is it's ironic coming out of Houston. They don't give a fuck what happens in New York. You know what I mean?
No, it's only because of NASA. It's because of NASA.
Oh. Okay, got you. But, I mean, if it is sinking, then so be it. You know what I mean? I don't know what else you could do. I mean, look, I'm sure there's some innovation that could be used to improve these cities. And anywhere really tenfold, but the problem is they don't want to spend the money on that. Only places like China and Japan are that forward thinking. Here where we don't think like that.
Well, when I look at it like this, I think it will probably be
like
more,
that. The money don't move like that. Let me say that.
I think it will probably be more worrisome if it was Florida, because a good chunk of Florida up under it is water once you go down far enough, and so. If it's sinking, it's more likely to break off, whereas it depends on which parts of New York. A lot of it is still pretty solid ground, going pretty deep. So I don't know. I don't know how much of a problem that actually is. I just thought it was something kind of interesting. I wanted to put it out there for everybody. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about. I'm not gonna really put anything up on the screen for her. I think what did I? No, I'm not gonna. No, I think I had this tweet that I responded to, and they had like the Grim Reaper, and he's playing like the old claw game, and it's like trying to get what's his name, that's the old Kissinger, trying to get Kissinger, and you grab Feinstein instead.
And then grab Feinstein, yeah, like the claw game you see it like the bowling alley in the arcades and shit,
Yeah,
like Chuck E. Cheese and all the rest of them.
I mean, my thoughts on that, and I figure we'll just talk about it just a little bit because yeah, I know people talk about, oh well, she was a pioneer for women. That's pretty much the only thing good that she did. Besides that, it was a horrendous record of being a piece of shit. That's all I'll say. And co-signing a bunch of bullshit. So, and she just proved that women could be equal opportunity pieces of shit. Also, that's all she did. You know, you can get women in power that can do just as horrible of a job as men can. But
Exactly, they wanted equality. They wanted equality. They got equality, right? She was equally as bad as her male counterparts. You know, she funded every single defense authorization. She was all for the George Bush war on terror shit. She's all for COVID policy. I mean, you just name it. Locking people up. She's been on the wrong side of the average person in her entire career in Congress. So to us, she's shitty. To the people she served, she did a great job.
I mean, I look at it like this: the whole Democratic Party out of California is pretty horrendous. I mean, best case scenario, you got what's her name, Katie Porter. The rest of them are just ass. And like they're worse than the rest of other Democrats. Like they're some of the worst of the Democrats. That's what I see. And some of the most corrupt.
Marcus,
yo,
Marcus, real quick, I wanted to ask you since we touched on this. Did you watch any of the debate this week?
No, I did not have the energy for it
at all.
I didn't have the energy for it.
I should have called you because I had it on late. Yo, dog, that shit was maybe because I was a little tipsy. That shit was funny as fuck. Like,
give us some of the highlights. Since I didn't watch it, give us some of the highlights.
Oh well, you know, one of the highlights was the app TikTok and how China is going to be, you know, continuing to use TikTok to gain all the information of every single American person, right? Boom, we get it. Everybody puts all their fucking information online anyway. So I mean, what what deep diving is China gonna have to do?
Also,
they don't
I look
have
at
to
it like
dig down to find where you live. You're doing. Go ahead.
Also, they're in fucking China. Why would they give a shit where I live in California? How does that information pertinent to them? That's thinking very American focused. You know, our tech companies know all. I mean, oh gosh, it's just stupid on so many levels.
So Vivek said, you know, hey, this is part of the problem with the modern Republican Party is that they want to do shit like ban TikTok. We should be trying to reach out to everybody. If you look at our counterparts, you know, they're well ahead of us with, you know, engagement with folks using TikTok, right? So of course, what's her face? Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley comes out and she's just like, oh my God, you want China to take us over using the TikToks? Then from there, it just delved into, you know, 100 levels of stupidity. At that point, there's no need to like further comment on that part of it, but that's what they did. All but Vivek were saying like, hey, we need to get rid of this app or ban it. They were being fearful, but as I watched it, I realized that, think about it. I'm in my 40s, right? The two guys I have with me, they're in their 40s too, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not moving us one way or the other when you say that. In fact, we're looking at it, listening to it, saying you fucking morons, right? If you're talking to a younger generation, they don't even hear that shit, right? So you're talking to a group, maybe mid 50s, and at this point, you're probably safe to say they're talking to they're talking to a group of like 70-year-olds and 80-year-olds. They're talking to a dying group. Off TikTok, one of the other highlights, which I thought was very interesting, also includes Vivek. The issue of Russia and Ukraine came up, right? So everybody said the standard, we got to fight Putin. He's got to die. We got to support Ukraine. It's the usual, right? Nothing new there. Vivek started to say something to the effect of, hey, do you really know who is in the Ukrainian military? And Nikki Haley again, she jumped off the cliff faster than Wile E. Coyote used to run off the cliff after the Roadrunner. I mean, it was just head first, bam, just to do anything from actually touching on that. And then Vivek, instead of coming back to make his point, he pivoted away with going back to China's evil, China's the worst, China. And that is the other highlight of the debate is, Marcus, in case you didn't know, and for the audience, those watching us, in case you didn't know, the United States government really doesn't like China. I know this is kind of breaking news here, but, China is the biggest boogeyman. He's like Osama and Adolf and Stalin and Pinochet all in one times 100, Kaioken, Super Saiyan, all that for all my Dragon Ball Z people out there. So with that being said, we have no power. We have no Dragon Balls to make a wish. So why are we even going to fight China? Let's just let them do what they do. They're going to take over the spot. Let them do it. Because again, if you were listening to that debate, Marcus, you probably covered, you went to bed, you pulled the blankets up, and you prayed to the Most High to spare you from China, because that's all it was.
Well, this is what I've noticed:
China, TikTok, and Russia.
Well, the Democrats, they scream Russia, Russia's the enemy, Russia, we got to worry about them, and then the Republicans are China is the worst, it's the worst. And what you're doing, I mean, you're literally pushing these two, and here's the crazy part about it: both China and Russia have showed we're kind of really concerned about our territories. If you look at like all these people who talk about Russia is gonna like try to march and take over the whole world, Russia's been about Russia's business. They've been about, okay, we do feel like Poland and all these other countries, these USSR countries, are a part of their country. Whether we agree with them or disagree with them, most of what they've been worried about as far as putting boots on the ground had to do with what's in their theater. What's the countries that are all touching them and near them, or that were part of them and that they have some kind of cultural tie. They're not deciding, you know what, let me just go run over to Vietnam and go fuck with some shit. It's America, it's the West that's doing that. And then they're deciding, well, you don't like them motherfuckers, we'll help you out. And honestly, it looks like anywhere that Russia does anything, it's always some Western power rushing to be up in their face and worry about it. It's like, it's honestly the US, the way we chase around Russia, it's like an angry ex-girlfriend that's like, oh, so you dating this bitch now? So now you fucking with this bitch? Huh? Oh, you hanging out over there? Oh, you couldn't do that when you... That's what it feels like. That's what tells me, like, these are, and that's why it backs up. Like when I was telling you earlier, Chris, that I had more breakthroughs on my research. It's stuff that I kind of knew tentatively, but I just have more and more solid, concrete evidence that I know who was pulling the strings, and I know why they're pulling the strings, and it has something to do with being kicked out of Russia. And since being kicked out of Russia, they've had a vendetta against Russia. And so it seems to happen that people who got kicked out of Russia, every country that they end up going into, all of a sudden, this country now is trying to fight fucking Russia. And
Germany.
I just see this tie over and over and over. That all of a sudden, a certain group of people who end up coming out of an area, every time they go into this new country now wants to fight Russia. And Russia is always the bad guy. And in every movie, Russia is the bad guy. Any country that did anything with Russia is the bad guy. And then after they leave these other countries that have had problems with them, now these countries are all the enemies. I keep seeing this over and over, this cycle, over and over and over. And then if you look at you guys know how many people who we have in our government that I mean, whether they're active officials or the donors or some CEOs, how many fucking people tie back to fucking Ukraine, Poland, fucking Hungary, Russia, all of these fucking areas, Germany, and what I'm starting to notice is almost all of these fucking wars going around the world have to do with people who came out of Germany and fucking Russia. Everybody's been involved into Germany and Russia's bullshit. And they that messy ass couple who now they fighting out in public in front of everybody and make everybody pick a side on they fucking fight. I'm sorry, I kind of just went on a tangent. I've been looking at some shit this week, and I'm gonna reel it back. My apologies, y'all. I'm gonna reel it back.
Yeah, so that was our debate coverage. Yeah, you could call it shit, but you know, obviously these are things that you really don't have to pay attention to. That debate was geared for your parents or your grandparents if they're still alive. That's who that piece of entertainment was geared for. To people like us, again, I watch it. I view that as a comedy program. I don't see it as something to be taken serious. I watch it for the laughs, and I watched it and we laughed at it. You know, there was nothing to be afraid of, nothing to be excited about. Same old shit. As far as immigration goes, you know, that's the one thing though that this time around the Republicans do have a bit of a step up, and immigration is going to be a major problem, a major voting issue for the people, more so than it has been in prior years. I mean, that's easy to say. That's low-lying fruit. I didn't get that from the debate, but you know, human migration all over is up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I definitely would agree with that. You could see these ties everywhere. So, what else? Oh, I think I had another weird ass story I wanted to bring up. I want to show y'all because you know when I find this stuff, I just want to share it with y'all. I gotta show somebody this crazy shit that I be running across. Let's see, what else did I have in my little docket here? Oh, I found the whatchamacallit. I found the let's see if it'll pop up. I guess it was on Instagram. What I was talking about with the whole Feinstein thing. I'll just show it real quick.
So Marcus, you're learning about so you looked into the Bolshevik shit, right? And see who came out of there.
I went and re-examined the Bolsheviks. But what I've been honestly, what I've been studying is I've been studying into, and I'll see if anybody in the audience, y'all might not know about these people, but I've been going more back into the Knights of Malta, the Rosicrucians, the Jesuit order, and digging even back to the Essenes. So I don't know if y'all even know who the Essenes are. A lot of people out there, but definitely should look up the Essenes. and it's
Yeah,
it's
that's
interesting.
What else we got on the
I
docket?
don't know.
RFK.
Chris? Are you familiar with the scenes? Actually,
With
and I
who?
want to test the audience. I know
Put
Yanina
it back
probably
up.
knows what that what the
Yeah,
the
what you just had.
Feinstein one. I have Feinstein up.
Oh, okay. I thought you had put something else
Yeah.
up.
Anybody else familiar with? I just want to know. Just a quick check. Anybody in the audience? Are you familiar with the Essenes?
No.
Because I'm seeing crickets in the audience. Nobody seems to be familiar with the Essenes. And this is kind of how research goes. As you go down the rabbit hole, you start finding more and more and more ties. Chris H says he's a little familiar. Okay, cool. We got one person. Well, the Essene prophecy. Well, no. The Essenes were a sect of people who lived on the outskirts of Judea. They lived out near the area like where the Dead Sea Scrolls were found, and they were like very weird sect of monks, basically, who were hyper religious.
I was going to say they sound like they must have been fundamentalists.
Oh, these were like
because it's
early.
It's always the fundamentalists who are pushed to the edge of society. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and like they were to the point where like I mean they were really far out there in their interpretations, and like to the point where they even would like they swore off they supposedly swore off all sexual contact, and
yeah.
they would swell their numbers by recruiting people. So basically, people who got so destitute with society and couldn't stand it anymore, they left and basically joined the Essenes. And so, I mean, they also wrote literature. And so, when you start hearing about these different books of like the Book of Thomas and the Book of Jasher, and they start saying some different stuff that what you hear in the Bible, and people are like, "Oh, well, it's just like some made up stuff." This isn't made up stuff per se. These are people who did have a fundamental knowledge, firsthand eyewitness of events going all the way back to Sumeria, Babylon, to knowledge of what was going on in Egypt, to knowledge of what was going on in Israel in those days, and kind of sat as a passerby who were looking for their time to kind of put in their interpretation of things on some of the events. And they believed in a lot of stuff that a lot of people didn't. So they had understanding of the Bible. They had understanding of like Brahman, and what the Indian beliefs. They had understanding of far Eastern religions and a whole bunch of mix of different things. They had understandings of the Talmud, and they basically
So
believed
did
the God of the Bible.
Did they attack those who they felt is not being holy enough?
If you got into their areas, oh, definitely. But it's believed from my research, what it's looking like is some of these different dogmas that people have started to latch onto were, in my assessment, I would say, written by the Essenes, by them taking.
So Marcus, you said they swore off. Did they swear celibacy? Is that what they did?
Yes, celibacy.
Okay. So.
And they did
no
allow
wonder they
women.
weren't around. So no wonder they weren't around long. Like, I mean, we shouldn't be listening to people who are.
No, they were around. They were still around. What they would do is they would recruit. They would recruit.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, if not recruit, it sounds like rape.
It's kind of like Game of Thrones, how you had the people that would go to the wall, so they weren't allowed to have any women.
Yeah.
But Game of Thrones, they would still mess with women. Different story. But it's like they had to keep their numbers up by recruiting more people into their ranks.
Yeah, see, I couldn't have joined that because that's just not gonna work. That's a natural. See, I hear certain shit, and yeah, maybe it makes them enlightened because they keep all their shit in. But for me, I think he gave us a release valve, right? And I think we're supposed to release. So just sitting there, that shit is,
like
that
these
shit is
dudes
crazy. They made
like these dudes would literally like pray before a meal, pray literally in between bites, like pray after the meal.
Or it's either the other obvious thing is that maybe they was like taking care of each other. I don't know, but
I believe that's exactly what was going on, and I just think they wasn't telling anybody. And I'm gonna say this part of research till I have more confirmation. But I definitely believe that.
I love my niggas, but I don't want to be in the desert. I don't want to be in the desert with my niggas alone. Like what? That's what we doing? No.
Well, I believe that they have that their theologies and philosophies were a big part of Masonic teachings. Now, not to the full dogmatic sense of them, of the way that they maintained it, but I believe that they did push forward their belief system, and it went through these different sects. And so, what we have now, Masons, and stuff like that, and Knights of Malta, Knights Templar, Eastern Order, like all of these different groups, all go back to these basically the Essenes.
Yeah, Marcus, that sounds like, if you didn't put a name on it, you just described that. It sounds like the modern day Catholic priests, and we know what they are now infamous for. So again, it all sounds bad if you live on that type of lifestyle, because if you're not releasing in the way that you're supposed to be releasing, you're gonna do some weird and nasty, funky shit. It always the people who have problems in that area always end up doing some extreme shit. So
the Knights Templar, they were accused of doing a bunch of that kind of stuff that you're alluding to.
Yeah, they all sound like one version or another of butt pirates, right? And hey, I'm not saying, look, that's what they wanted to do. That's what they wanted to do. But it just sounds like that's the type of time it was on.
It reminds me of remember Booty Call when he was like, he sounds like a bit of a doo-doo chaser. I'm sorry, that wasn't right. That's not right. I mean, that's fucked up. I shouldn't be picking on nobody. He said a sodomite or a sodom maybe.
Yeah, see, no good.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to pick on nobody. I'm not. And please, if you feel offended by that, my apologies. I'm sorry. It's just the joke from the movie came into my head. My bad. But all right, let's get back on to regularly scheduled. I got some videos that I'm working on. That not them kind of videos, and make sure we know nothing on the dirtiness. But years back, well, not years back, maybe about a year ago, we did a video about the origin of the Illuminati and beliefs of the Illuminati, and I kind of doubled back to some of that research, realized I didn't get to everything that I wanted to get to, and explain out all the different stuff which I found in my research. So at some point in time, I am going to go back and like revisit this topic and go in depth more on that. So I think so that's kind of just where what I've been researching the last probably couple of weeks. So sorry to take y'all off off the beaten path into somewhere else. But yeah, this gets deep, and I say that you can see the fingerprints of so many things now if you understand that stuff that was going on all the way back when. I'm telling you, around 1776, I think, recording. But here's the thing: that's the Illuminati is a rebrand itself. The Illuminati actually comes out of the Jesuit order, the Jesuit order, and the Rosicrucians and the Knights Templar. And then the Knights Templar go back to, and so all of these are like constant rebrandings. And that's the reason how like the Masons get the title that they get. It's a broad group of people under a bunch of different names. And that's kind of like what Standard Oil did, how they diversified their names of their money, still keeping all the money in house, but pretending like they're all these different factions when they're all the same damn thing. It's just like being in the military. Everybody's not out there running around with a gun on the battlefield. Some people are accountants, some people are medics, some people are pilots, some people, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with that.
Yeah,
everybody has a different role.
Support, yeah.
Everybody has a role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how you make the machine move. You know, some of them, some of these people captured, you know, some of them had the ships, some of them had the manufacturing, some had this, you know.
And when you talk about a machine that's big enough that is influencing national policy for multiple different countries and literally affecting global affairs, you got to have a bunch of different people in a bunch of different, different lanes doing different shit. So,
yeah, you have to have your middle management team spread apart. You know what I mean? With your regionals, you know, with your regional managers overseeing them. You know, you just have to make sure you have people in the right place. And you need to make sure you have people who are very close to fire alarms, because just in case shit hit the fan, and, you know, you want to delay some shit, just pull the fire alarm dog, and we out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that's a good insurance policy, right? Yo, if this shit don't go down, dog, pull this shit. Yeah, what are we in high school? That's like elementary or high school.
well, I heard somebody literally say like, and when it was going kind of like something doubling back to Feinstein, one of her former staffers. Remember the dude who like he got fired and he like went in her office, like he took a bunch of shrooms and went in her office and smoking weed and like dancing behind her desk and shit.
Something like that.
Okay, I'm glad. Hopefully the rest of y'all remember this. It led to this whole staffer page. And honestly, reading the stuff that's on that staffer page, it tells me Congress literally runs like it's just like an extension from college. I mean, you had the middle school, you had the elementary school games, then the middle school, and then you had high school, then you had like in some cases junior college, then or you had your 4-year colleges, then your undergrad. And this is just it's the same kind of schoolyard BS. The popular kids, this club over there, that club over there. It's the same behavior going on all the way up to Congress. Sorry to disappoint anybody who thought that it was actually some kind of like professional grown-up kind of thing going on over there. It's not.
Bowman said the door was locked, so I pulled the alarm. I pulled the alarm so it would unlock the door.
Yeah, that's the story we're going with. That's the story we're going with, huh?
Now, if he gets in trouble, if they were to do something to him, suspend him, whatever, there's going to be a flood of people that are going to say, oh, you're only doing this because he's black. I just want to let you know, I don't even want to entertain those arguments. So I'm speaking a little bit in the future. I'm not even entertaining that bullshit. I don't care who didn't do what to who. I don't want to hear it. Fuck that. I don't care.
Well, for me, they all sold themselves out. I mean,
yeah.
So once you're already a sellout, I I can't take you serious on nothing else. So that's how I see that. You're dang, it was something I wanted to. It was one other thing that I wanted to show everybody. This thing out in Vegas. It's kind of wild.
Which thing?
I'm not gonna type it in. It's this new thing that opened up. Dang it, where's that? Let me see. There it is. Let me send it. I just wanted to share that because it's some kind of new event. And I guarantee you, if you travel to Vegas, you will see this. It's kind of hard to miss. And it's kind of going to be like a new, I guess you can say it's a concert. It'll be used as a concert venue also. It's called the Sphere. Let me share my screen. So here, okay, now let me share it.
What you doing, Marcus?
Here it is.
Oh.
All right, here we go.
And finally,
You still live?
The Las Vegas skyline. You've probably seen what it looks like from the outside, but tonight, ahead of the grand opening, Gotti Schwartz takes us inside the Sphere.
Right off the Vegas Strip is the future of entertainment in a way only science fiction could predict. Some calling it eye-catching. To others, it's out of this world. And when words fail, there's always an emoji. But this 366-foot shimmering exosphere is just the beginning, because what's inside there is even more mind-blowing.
What is your name?
My name's Gotti.
And I'm Jim.
Gotti
We've
and
met
Jim.
before.
Welcome to Sphere.
Just beyond 5 Aura robots is a taste of the most baffling sound system in the world.
You're isolating each instrument.
I'm isolating each instrument into a beam.
All of this starting with a simple sketch from Jim Dolan, owner of some of the most storied venues on Earth, who decided to reimagine entertainment with a $2.3 billion gamble in the desert.
What was your reaction when you saw it turn on?
Well, I was enchanted too. I mean, it was awesome. We designed it, we visualized it, and it's so big.
And finally, inside the Sphere within a Sphere, 168,000 square feet of high-definition LEDs, 167,000 speakers, 17,000 seats, and 10,000 of them powered by haptics.
It's impossible to describe, right? It's like trying to explain what a peanut butter and jelly sandwich tastes like to somebody who's never tasted one.
This weekend, U2 claiming the first residency, followed closely by another fully immersive experience called Postcards from Earth, all about this even bigger sphere that we all call home. Gotti Schwartz, NBC News, Las Vegas.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts on that?
So it looks like they bent, a huge TV screen into a circle, right? So it looks cool. I mean,
Like
the technology, that's cool. Yeah, the tech is cool on that. I don't have an issue with that. We all want to be entertained too. It's cool for what it is. It's in Vegas. It makes sense there. It's another eye-catching attraction. You know what I mean? Can they do some wild, wicked shit with it? Yeah, they could, but I don't have any.
Don't.
I think it's kind of cool the way they got it, though. To be honest, it's something to look at. See how far we've come.
Yeah, I think it's just something that was kind of cool. It kind of creeps me out a little. You got the Android in there,
But
a little
yeah,
AI
but
shit. That joint kind of confused me.
But you know what? We're slow because I would assume, though, if we were to talk to somebody from Japan, they would tell us, "Oh, we were doing this in like '92."
I mean, maybe not that not that long ago, but yeah, I get your meaning because when I was talking to Carl Zah was telling me that they have a lot of tech over there in China. But let's see. Oh yeah, next story we get into. Are y'all familiar with the Brave Cave? Anybody out there familiar with the Brave Cave? No. This is horrendous. I'm just double check. Crowd, I'm gonna get you. Let's see. Totally welcome to Spear. Apparently, where you go hand over your soul. Breck, you might be right. I mean, it's something about it that it seems like it's gonna be something cool, but it seems like it could be. I don't know. I just don't know yet. Save my judgment on it. Brave Cave. Yeah, the street says, what the F is that? Well, let's play a little bit of this. You guys can hear about the Brave Cave. I know you guys remember some of these different incidents that have went on with police officers and stuff. So I figured, let me show you guys about the Brave Cave.
Allegations of abuse within the Baton Rouge Police Department in Louisiana, my hometown. People have been detained, are coming forward with new lawsuits claiming they were taken to a warehouse known as the Brave Cave, and they call it the warehouse of torture, where they say they were tortured, sexually assaulted, and humiliated by Baton Rouge police officers. WBRZ Chief Investigative Reporter Chris Nakamoto has been following this from the very beginning. He joins us with an update tonight. What the hell is going on there?
It has been a wild last few weeks here in the city of Baton Rouge, Isaiah. I can tell you 4 arrest warrants, as you just said, were issued for Baton Rouge police officers in the city of Baton Rouge. They were part of the street crimes unit that is now under an administrative and federal investigation. Just last week, the FBI took a rare step and made an announcement saying that they have launched an investigation into this unit along with the Federal Civil Rights Division. And if you're familiar with how the feds operate, that's very unusual. They normally just say we can't ever confirm or deny the existence of an investigation. So by them coming out last week saying we are investigating, it was a very strong statement that the feds made pertaining to all of these incidents that have been coming to light here in the city of Baton Rouge.
Now, for those who are not familiar with the Brave Cave, what is that exactly, and how does that tie to the Baton Rouge Police Department?
This all started about a month ago when a lawyer who was representing a client filed a lawsuit and alleged that his client was driven to a warehouse and tortured. It was captured on body camera video with some of the officers saying en route to the Brave Cave. When we started asking questions and other media started asking questions to the administration, the Baton Rouge Police Department, and the mayor's office, nobody was aware of what the Brave Cave was. And so as more and more details started to emerge, more people started coming out saying, we were also brought there and tortured there. And so as the development started unfolding rapidly, the whole street crimes unit, which went out and targeted drug offenders, things like that, it was disbanded. There were 3 officers who were put on leave. Yesterday, the deputy chief, right under the chief, was put on leave. He used to be commander of that unit. So things are moving very swiftly. And ultimately, people are alleging their civil rights were violated inside of that warehouse where they say that they were beaten up.
Wow, incredible. Now, we know the police chief there, Mr. Murphy Paul, went before council yesterday, the parish council, and had an emotional situation where he basically, I don't want to say attacked some council members, but got emotional. So tell us a little bit about that.
He was certainly impassioned about this whole situation. He was questioned about the status of the Brave Cave whole situation that's been unfolding over the past month. And he began just addressing the council members saying, look, you reduced my funding for lawyers. So I disciplined some of these officers. Then they go back to the Civil Service Board because they have a right to appeal their discipline. And then the Civil Service Board that is appointed by some of these Metro Council members basically undoes the decision that he made to discipline some of these bad actors. So he said it's very frustrating when you have a board that's basically siding with some of these bad actors and undoing the discipline that he's trying to clean up within the department. The chief is scheduled to resign at the end of November. He's already announced his resignation, but he's scheduled to be finished in November. So some of the council members were also saying you shouldn't even be involving yourself since you're about to leave. But I think what they were unaware of and what we broke today is that arrest warrants have already been signed for some of these officers. And a judge obviously found probable cause that these officers crossed the line for them to sign this warrant alleging impropriety on their parts.
Two quick questions. Number one, is the chief resigning as a result of this torture warehouse or Brave Cave, or did he announce that before? And secondly, who issued these arrest warrants? Which agency said, let's go arrest these Baton Rouge police officers?
To answer your first question, the chief announced months ago that he was resigning. We also broke that story as well. And it was just due to some shift in direction in his life. So way before this Brave Cave even came to light, he had announced that he was resigning. And to be clear, he had said he was not aware that people were being tortured inside that warehouse. They knew that it was being used by the narcotics division and the street crimes division, but they were not aware that people were going in there and having their civil rights violated. And then the other part of your question essentially was what, Isaiah?
Which agency sought and gained the arrest warrants for police officers in Baton Rouge?
We understand it was Baton Rouge Police. So they wound up having a 19th Judicial District judge sign the warrants, and that's how they're going to be moving forward. We should have more information tomorrow as a news conference is announced. Obviously, the FBI just announcing that they're joining the investigation last week. Things move a little bit slower with the feds, so we're not expecting any announcement from the feds anytime soon.
Yeah, so I figured I'd just show y'all a little bit of that Brave Cave. And what I wonder now is when we had those officers, like the ones who beat up that dude, trying to remember what area was that at, but I'm blanking on it. Where it was the 4 officers that beat up that one guy, which now that I think about it, we probably need to do a follow-up and see what was going on that story. But these officers who have these like narcotic units who are going around attacking people and doing all this, I wonder how many of them have some version of a Brave Cave. Because like Yonina said out there in the chat, you know, Chicago, they got those all over the place, the cops have. So I don't know. I wonder. What's your thoughts, Chris?
It's you just said it, or Yonina just said it. You know, they have sites like these all over. I mean, she was referring to Chicago, but yeah, they have these all over the place. It's nothing new. This is just the latest one that we're hearing about. It's always going to be like this. But Marcus, what you gonna do if they catch you and they say, "Yo, you go to the Brave Cave or you snitch? Where you going?"
Hey man, I'm not going to the Brave Cave. I don't want no part. I don't know what the hell you got to be brave. How brave you need to be in that cave. I don't know about that. I mean, I could take getting punched in the face a couple of times. I can take getting kicked in the face a couple of times. But I don't know what all y'all doing up in there. That sounds like some. They're like, we need to go somewhere where there's no cameras. Because I already know cops, like, they beat on people in interrogation rooms and they kind of get away with, they found a way to, oh, we're going to suspend that officer. But what are y'all doing up in there? I mean, you notice he glossed over.
So
He said,
to the audience,
he said tortured a whole bunch of times. But at the very beginning, he said people getting raped. I mean, sexually assaulted. And I'm like, hold on now. Y'all picking up mostly dudes. Yeah, we're just gonna gloss over that part, right? How he started off talking about sexual assaults.
Thank you.
Hey,
So
it sounds
to
like
the audience, I want to ask them. So, are y'all snitching, or y'all going to the Brave Cave?
Hey, man.
I want to see what y'all say.
It sounded a whole lot like that LL Cool J Omar Epps movie, In Too Deep. You get my meaning. Oh man, I'm going to hell for that one. But yeah, I'm not. I don't. Nah, man. It's. I put it this way, and when I was in the military, they would say this too. You try to hold out being tortured, but everybody got a breaking point. Everybody got a breaking point. Ew. Ew, actress, that's nasty. Ew. Oh. Oh man. You gotta remember, that is the South. That's the deep South. You don't know what kind of crazy weird shit they done came up with. Yeah. They're like, hey Cletus, go get them baby alligators. Like, baby alligators? What? Drop his draws. What? No.
Well, look. We'll pray for Jonino. Hopefully, we'll try to break her out. But if she can't and she make it out, she could tell us exactly what goes down in the Brave Cave because she says she ain't telling. So she gonna have to let us know because that shit don't even sound. I mean, that's how you get the information, though. Quite honestly, right? Because even to some people, if you have a record or you're on probation. Now, do you want them to go tell your probation, or do you take this trip to the Brave Cave?
Man,
you know what I mean? The system puts you in a lot of compromising situations, in which where you end up like that, and you end up talking because the other button they could push could actually get you sent up for many years, especially if you're out on parole or probation. That has, those things have a major effect on you too, in addition to what your initial charge was.
All I'm knowing is, you'll be sitting in there, cuffed, and I'll be looking over. Hey man, what you doing over there? Why are you putting on them big gloves? And he'll be like, and you hear him, yeah, bring Nasty Nate in the back. Like, who is Nasty Nate? Why is Nasty Nate coming in from the back? What's going on here? Too many things going on. Just don't seem
so
right.
You say you'd be like Wesley Snipes? You say you'd be like Wesley Snipes in New Jack City? It was that light-skinned motherfucker.
Damn right. I'll be like, hey, whoa, slow down. Hey man, you're gonna need a pencil and a paper or recorder. You got a recorder? Okay, let's start talking. It was Clyde. His mama's name is, her maiden name was this. They live right here, but 2 weeks ago they moved from here. I mean, you might want to check this other house too, because they might have left some stuff there. And I saw him walk past this dude named David. David, he be doing a whole lot of messed up stuff, so it could be David. He could be involved too. Hey,
the streets know it. The streets know it.
Yeah, I'm not. You ain't got no Squirrel Master to save you. So, yeah, I'm not. Nope, not playing that game, buddy. Brick says, I'm dying at the hands of Red Baton. Oh, no. No, dignity will be sacrificed. Hey, yeah, I got to keep my dignity. Y'all call me whatever on that one, but not doing all that. You know how the stitch stuck down in the seat. You see my big ass head in the window, like that's him. Yeah, no.
Yo, the Brave Cave and make it be like, yeah, you know what? Look, we getting our jokes off, but just to take us back into it and out of it, is that obviously this shit is wrong. Clearly, there should be
Chris,
some justice.
We all seen First 48. They don't even have to do all that.
That's what I was gonna say. They got the videos online of First 48. They
don't even got to do all that.
They be like, "Oh shit, he got a Mountain Dew. He gonna tell."
He be like, oh, "I didn't mean to do it." Well, go on, baby. It's better just get it off your chest. Who was it, man? Me, Lil Earl, and Jesse, we didn't mean to do it. I didn't do nothing though. I was just there.
Yo, they bring them dudes to iced tea, and they just be spilling everything.
And then they be like, hey, you want some chips too? I mean, we just got a new sack of fresh chips right in there. It ain't like they offering like a burger or no like steak. They're like, hey man, we got some Pringles in here. Oh, Pringles and a Mountain Dew? Okay, yeah. So they was over here. They was on 25th and Quivira. Nah, yeah, they be them dudes on verse 48 be telling they. That's the reason why I'm like, dang, you really got to take him to a cave and do some other weird stuff. No, that's just unnecessary.
Okay,
All right.
Marcus, this ties right into one of our next topics, right? Talking about snitching and shit like that, right?
Oh yeah,
This goes in.
quick one. I'm just gonna throw this in there because we'll see if it happens or not. I don't want to cover it unless it actually happens. But for all those out in California, especially because most of the people in California use this, Kaiser might be going on strike. Bless you. Gesundheit.
Thank you.
They might be going on strikes, and that might happen as soon as next Wednesday. So
now Kaiser represents healthcare workers.
Yeah, Kaiser Permanente. So
yeah,
that might be an issue. They're saying that they're not getting enough help on their patients and all that. And it's like Kaiser's the biggest healthcare provider in California.
Yes.
And so we talking about nurses and stuff might be walking out soon. Yes, America is a sad place. We might have some nurses and stuff walking up out of there. They're saying they're not having enough coverage. Pause. Don't mean nothing like that. But they need more workers along with them there. And I've seen it. There, you go to a hospital here, and every hospital super long wait, especially talking about emergency rooms because it's not enough people. But and I know even if these people are getting paid decent, if you're doing the work of 2 or 3 people, then you're not getting paid decent. So that's my thoughts on that.
So Marcus, will that have an effect on? Do they run a lot of clinics out there?
Do they?
Okay.
I mean,
so
just in my area alone, like the most of the major hospitals are Kaiser, like that are right around.
Okay.
Like
yeah,
and of course you do
like
have your Concentras and stuff like that, but as far as like in fact, let me look it up real quick.
That's a good one, Warren.
Kaiser Jose. That's my movie right there. Let's see. And actually, you know what? I got a quick video. Well, I'll share a little bit. I don't know how quick the video is. I'll just share a little bit as she kind of this what was it on Yahoo Finance? Oh, it's only a 3-minute video. And then we'll get into the main topic.
UAW, it has been, it felt like at least, the summer of strikes, now spilling into the fall. More unions, in fact, are now threatening to head to the picket lines. Currently, we've got casino staff in Vegas, video game actors, and workers at one of the largest healthcare providers in the country are now threatening walkouts. We're talking lastly about workers at Kaiser Permanente. They say they're going to hold a 3-day strike as early as next Wednesday if negotiations today do not reach a deal. If they strike, that could hit hospitals, clinics, and medical offices. And this is a consistent theme that we've been talking about that is so fascinating with union membership falling back. But these.
So let me pause this real quick. It says, how many Kaiser Permanente hospitals in California? 39. Oakland, California, U.S. That's kind of weirdly written. Kaiser Permanente operates 39 hospitals, more than 700 medical offices with over 300,000 personnel, including more than 87,000 physicians and nurses. So it's not very small.
Kinds of actions, these really visible actions that are hitting large swaths of people that have been ramping up. The Kaiser one is interesting in particular, could affect 75,000 employees across 5 states and Washington, D.C. if it happens. And then, of course, by extension, a lot of patients.
Yeah, I mean, listen, as we were discussing, so many strikes now across so many sectors and industries, it's hard to keep up with the headlines at this point. I think big labor knows this is a moment they can act. They're looking at the labor market. They see a sub-4.
I just want to hop in real quick. This guy's extra slimy. I can't stand his analysis, but we'll just let him continue. Extra slimy. You know, you can tell he's a guy who it's all about taking advantage of the opportunity. Doesn't matter about what's going on in people's lives or quality of life, or if they have a justified cause. It's like, oh, here's an opportunity. Now it's time to get them.
4% unemployment rate. And they think, you know what, we can make a move here. And not only to making moves, they're going to the negotiating table and securing better pay. And to the extent that then motivates other companies and other industries. I thought what Greg just said was really interesting about the UAW. I mean, let's say Sean Fain's really able to secure, let's call it 30% pay raise over 4 years. Not only would I think that would make his members happy, what extent does that motivate others, including even, as Greg said, maybe he says it sounds far-fetched, do non-union members in all other companies like a Tesla look at that and say, you know what, maybe that is looking pretty good. And maybe the UAW makes a play for them as well. They would obviously love to bump up their membership.
Well, if you look at other industries entirely disconnected as well, I mean, the writers, for example, in Hollywood, it looks like that they got a fairly beneficial deal for themselves and got many of their demands met. So if you're a leader of a union,
Marcus,
whatever you may be across this country, and you're seeing these actions, it's going to be very interesting to watch union members.
Yeah.
The only question is, do the people who make the profits, are they willing to take a little less profit to shore up what they need for their workers to be okay? Because we're not talking about money to keep the business afloat. The question and the debate and the argument is not, well, if I pay the workers, then there won't be a business. That's something false. We shouldn't get stuck on that. They have the money. These companies are turning profits. We see them, you know, we see their names on the stock ticker. You know, their CEOs go on these channels and they brag about how much they made and what they did to, you know, become successful and to stay on top. Again, the question is whether or not they're willing to take home a little less profit. And what they're left with is still an exorbitant amount of money at the end of the day.
Well, yeah, it's not like they don't already, most of these people already have a massive profit already. It's not like they're not sitting on already, you know, plenty of M's. I mean, I remember, what was it? United Healthcare, Stephen Hemsley or Hems, I think it was Hemsley. He was making something like $600 million for 7 years' work. It was ridiculous. It's like, there's no way that man needs that fucking much money. Here. Oh, yeah, that happened too, Mr. Streets. I mean, that gets to the gist of it. I kind of just wanted to bring it up and show this clip. Actually, we can suffer through him a little bit longer, and then I think she had some other good points that she brought up. I don't know why they brought this douche on here.
Membership in the coming years, and
which is still historically low, around 10%.
Correct, exactly. But to your point, if I'm a worker in whatever industry it is, and I'm seeing this kind of stuff happen, it's quite interesting. I mean, another example of a worker action that was not among union workers happened at CVS stores in Kansas City, where they staged a walkout recently and then repeated it this week. Basically, that didn't have to do with pay. It had to do with personnel and staffing, which is part of the issue at Kaiser Permanente as well. We have seen big problems with getting healthcare staffing up in this country, and that has created big problems for those who are working, right? If they're stretched thin in seeing patients, or if you're a pharmacy and you're stretched thin in writing prescriptions and advising patients, and there aren't enough people working there. And so CVS came back, and its chief medical officer made comments to the chief pharmacy officer, addressed these concerns and said that they are going to be beefing up staff. So these worker actions are getting results in many of these cases.
Yeah, that's good enough. I don't want to hear what he has to say next, because he's just annoying the fuck out of me. complete Wall Street douchebag who's only worried about making money and could care less about how it affected. Yeah, and Mr. Streets, that is true. LA fast food workers will be making $20 an hour now. What do you think career workers are going to do? Well, here's the thing: $20 an hour in California is not really a lot, especially with all the inflation going on. Let's see. I'll tell you this: I spent the other day at Wendy's. By the way, I got a Wendy's combo. I got a sandwich, fries, and a drink. I didn't get nothing extra. This is like $18.
Shit.
So what I'm telling you is your money don't go far in California at all. Your money don't go far.
You know, I saw something about the gas there, and it was like $7.63 or some shit like that.
In some areas, yeah.
Is that how much?
In some areas.
What's gas for you?
I see. I find like pretty cheap places which I go. Well, cheap for out here, which is like
that's
right
what I'm
around,
saying. So
like right at around $6. And so I've seen some like $6.50, $6.75. But imagine if you getting like you know, the super like 93. Oh, I know people who, and then they put in every 2 weeks, you know, 150 in the tank.
Yeah, here is like 365 type shit.
Yeah. Atra says about 575 up in the Bay, but I've seen 675. You know, and I right around to the right area. It's ugly in some areas.
So to answer that question, you know, $20, like you said, is really not a lot of money for, you know, it's not a lot of money per hour when you live in an area where the costs and prices are what they are in LA.
Yeah, I mean, you still on 20 an hour, you're still not having an apartment by yourself.
No.
You can't. I mean, we're talking about on average for a studio, you're gonna pay roughly about $2,000 a month for an apartment in California. A studio. Not even a 1-bedroom. Now, say you want to get a 2-bedroom apartment, man, you're talking about $2,600 a month. And then just to get into the place, you got to put down like you got to show that you make something like three times more than the rent.
Yeah, that part is crazy.
Yeah, you got people literally renting couches. Like, yeah, I'll pay you $400 a month to sleep on your couch. That's how it is out here. So $20 an hour, that really ain't much at all. I mean, I'm not going to say how much I make, but I don't make that much. So yeah, 2,500 a month. Yeah, I'll be boarding house. Yeah. You know how many people who are sleeping in cars, working full time out here? Like minimum wage now is like $15. So 20s, do you get what I'm saying? So if you're in a state where minimum wage is like, say what, $7.25 and you making like $12.13, you making $12.13 is more than somebody making $20 an hour out here. So like $25 an hour out here is like making $15 an hour in like Texas.
In certain parts.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Or I mean, or even in Florida, it's like the equivalent 25 an hour is like making like 16 in Florida. In North Florida, not even talking about South Florida. South Florida is different.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. North Florida, because South Florida is different.
It's it's getting so ridiculous here. Can't begin
But
to tell
also,
you.
but also at the same time, in South Florida, some of the houses which are $1 million homes are actually $1 million homes. They're actually like big ass houses with plenty of land and all that. Even
some of them,
Beverly Hills, even like these big mansions and stuff like that. Some of them don't have very much room at all in between houses. Like you could be see a $2-3 million house, which is the equivalent to a $300,000 house in a typical neighborhood.
So they build zero lot lines.
Yeah, like
so there's no front yard and backyard. It's all house.
Yeah, like for instance, I know Yanina says she's in Chicago. Like a typical house that you would see in Schaumburg, that would be like a $500,000, $600,000 home, would be like a $2 million home out here. That's like the difference. Massive cost of living, difference. But Warren said 20 an hour here with 20 hour with 40 hours is only 800 per week gross. Rent, food, transportation, clothing is not enough. Oh, I forgot. Not to mention the taxes out here. Oh, you get fired up on the taxes. They hit you over the head with the taxes out here. And then like you got taxes out here that you don't have other places. Like how many of y'all ever paid smog? Like the fuck is smog?
That's why they pay you. That's why they pay you guys more per hour so they could jerk you and shit like that.
So it could take more fucking money out of your pocket.
This
to have a little ass place and nowhere to park. And they got like
and insurance is high as hell.
Insurance is high also. And like how you go into some neighborhoods where you can park basically anywhere. Here, they got this area is red, that one is yellow. You can't park here, you can't park there, you can't park in that lot, you can't park here. And that's the thing. They make so many different areas where you just can't park that it makes the parking situation worse, just so they could tow the shit out of you. I don't want no parts of that. Yes, smog. Yeah, that's for your vehicle. So you got to pay an extra thing to get your vehicle smog tested. Basically saying that it fits with emissions and all that. So it's a lot going on out here. So let's get on to the last topic. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard, but if they haven't heard about what's going on with the TUPAC situation, Chris, could you fill them in? I got a couple of videos to back it up, but let's fill them in.
What's his name? Keith. What's his name? Keith D or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's Keefed.
Yeah.
He's been arrested by he's been arrested by law enforcement in connection with the death of Tupac. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm confused why this took so long. The dude has only been on DJ Vlad's program snitching about this.
It's funny you mentioned that because I was gonna show that.
For the longest time, he's been on Vlad mad times telling the world what he did. So I don't know where this came from, but yeah, go ahead.
You want to hear this? Check this out, y'all.
Yeah.
When the incident happened, there were 4 people in the car. You're the only living person that was in that car right now. Everyone else had passed away since then. What witnesses were saying, though, was that when they saw the arm stick out the window and do the shooting, it wasn't a skinny arm. It was a bulky, hefty-looking arm.
Well, I was in the passenger seat. No way,
I'm not saying it's you. I'm saying that there's 4 people in the car, but They said it wasn't a skinny arm that stuck his hand out the window.
Who the witness?
Can't say.
Okay. They lying? Was they there?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Only witness it was Suge Knight and me. Only two persons left.
So that's that story. Saying that they're the only ones that's left. And it's kind of interesting now. It's all leaning this way. You familiar with your boy Whack 100, right?
Oh God, of course. I wish I wasn't sometimes, but yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's like, oh gosh. But Whack was saying
100
some interesting
sometimes
stuff.
earns his Whack 100 sometimes earn his name, Whack, because he be doing whack shit.
What was that? Dang, I guess I got my screen blocking. What did it say? Zelgadis. I don't know how to pronounce that. My bad. But it says, I thought a lot of conservatives that were in California were just being goofy on big government taxes. No, you got a lot of people who are on the left who complain about the taxes out here too. It's ridiculous. But yeah, back onto everybody out here is freaking miserable. You just have a lot of people who don't even vote. And the only people who really vote hard are people who lean Democratic. I mean, well, establishment Democrats. You just have they vote hard, and it's more them than the conservatives. Then you have the other probably huge chunk of people out here in California is just like it's all bullshit. They're all corrupt. Fuck it. That's majority. That's the majority of California.
And Marcus, a lot of people try to make this like a conspiracy thing. I know what was said. I know dude alleges that Puff gave him $1 million to kill Pac and all that shit. But at the end of the day, we all saw the video where Pac and his homeboys, they stomped out Orlando Anderson. He's a known gang member. He's a shooter at that. So this is gang shit. This is not large, big government conspiracy to take out Pac because he was going to turn into the 21st century MLK and Malcolm. No, he got wrapped up in that gang shit, which he should not have been. And what happened to Pac, unfortunately, happened to a lot of young men in and around his age.
Hell, it just happened not that long ago to old boy who got his chain took.
It just happened to Pop Smoke, what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago now?
Happened to Pop Smoke. I'm trying to remember what was dude's name. I can't remember his name.
You know,
I don't follow a lot of. I don't follow a lot of that stuff. But I think he was at like Waffle House or something, and they took his chain and shot.
I know who you're talking about. I know I can't remember his name right now. God damn it, I'm drawing a blank. But yeah, this is it.
Nipsey Hussle got took out over this stupid gang shit out here.
Yeah, but hold on. No, I feel you, Streets. But just think about it. Like coming out the casino, you see Orlando Anderson. There was problems. Y'all stomped this dude out, and y'all stomped him out real good on Front Street in front of everybody. Look, not for nothing, that gives him a reason to want to at least do something to Pop. If not to kill him, to put hands on him at the very least. Because you're not just going to stomp out Orlando. Pac and the rest of those guys were not just going to stomp him out and walk away if Pac wasn't a rapper or a superstar. You know what I mean? That same shit was going to happen anyway. That's their culture out there. We've seen plenty of people get shot at, you know, just on that same type of shit. A lot of these dudes in the entertainment industry, especially rap, they go out to LA and they get their wigs peeled because LA really just don't
they really
play
own that shit
when it comes to that.
Man, what they don't realize
really
is,
on it.
This is what I've learned out here. The cats out here on LA, rep means far more than money for these cats. Cats, what I'm used to, they in this kind of situation, I'm not saying that they wouldn't have got at Pac, but it wouldn't have been so flagrant like this. Now, oh boy, who they believed actually did it, got shot the next year. And don't think that it wasn't Pac's people who didn't find out and retaliated. It definitely was. Because in the streets there is going to be a retaliation.
Correct.
That's the reason why I think this took so long for him. And I also wonder, that was his name, PNB Rock. That's the one that got murdered at Waffle House.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what happens. Was it Waffle House or was it Roscoe's?
Oh, Roscoe's, I think.
Yeah, Roscoe's.
Roscoe's, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Roscoe's.
But out here, a lot of these cats, like the days of the big money and those days are gone. And so these cats out here will kill over the little, like, I look at it like this, living out here now, Cali gangsters and I think a lot of it has to do with they're not able to get out on their own and buy their own shit a lot of times. And most of these cats are still in their 20s and 30s and 40s, still living with their parents, never had to grow up. You see a lot of childish shit out here. A lot of childish shit. You see grown men who still walking around 50 years old, damn near sagging. You see them spray painting on fucking walls. Like, really, it's one thing if you're doing a beautiful mural, but really, you just got to just tag up. It's a reason why you don't see mirrors in most of the bathrooms here. Because some fucking idiot is going to go and scratch into the mirror whatever piece of shit little gang that they're in. You can't wear a hat into a club because all of them have some kind of gang notation and affiliation. Where these dudes are so fucking infantile that if they see somebody with a certain hat on, that means that this random person that I've never seen before is my enemy. I need to go out there and go stomp them out or kill them. This is how fucking childish and ignorant and stupid they are out here. Many of them who will put tons of money into a car, the hydraulics and all that, and will bounce the car literally all the way up where the back of the car is banging on the ground and the front in the middle of fucking traffic and think that shit is cute. These are some of the most ignorant, stupid ass people out here. And it's like, these are adult children who are dangerous. That's all it is. These are adult little kids who are fucking dangerous as hell, fragile, and will kill you over nothing. You can be at a gas station and you pulled into the spot and they didn't see that you were already waiting for that pump and get mad and will literally try to shoot you and kill you in broad daylight in front of 50 people. Cameras all over the place, witnesses. It don't even cross their mind that I'm going to get caught and I'm going to go to prison for the rest of my life for doing this stupid shit. There's not even that much thought going in. But this is the kind of area where we're dealing with. So when Pac did this shit, this is the kind of ignorant, stupid, and you got to remember back then, there wasn't cameras all over the place like there are now. So they probably thought, I can get away with doing this shit.
You know, Marcus, Tupac he wasn't of that lifestyle. You see, you know what it is? Between the movies and between some of the raps, people really bought into Pac as this thug. Yeah, he had a few incidents that,
he might have been a thug, but he ain't a gangster. He ain't a gangster, what you saying.
That's what I'm saying. He's an artist, okay? Because if you see early videos of Pac, you would question his manhood at his mannerisms and the way that he was speaking and the way that he would carry himself, right? I'm not saying he is or he isn't. All I'm saying, if you see those early videos of him, the way that he carries himself, it is clear that he was not a gangster. You could talk about, Afeni and Mutulu and the rest of the Shakur family and the rest of the Black Panthers and all that. Yes, he did come up hard. We know that, but he was still not a gangster. And he was playing that role for a little while, especially after he was shot, and then went to LA with Suge and getting involved with those people there. You know, Pac was headed towards it, man. He was just always, he never seemed to find the right people to be around, ever.
Yep.
There was drama every single time Pac was around, whether it's his fault or he was a victim of it.
Well, and that's what I tell people. Like, when you're in different cities, especially from his era, you fought it out. We used to fight it out growing up all the time. I mean, some of my best friends, we fought multiple times, and we're literally cool that next day. But they're not built like that out here. They ain't gonna fight you. They're gonna shoot you. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're dealing with a lot of you're dealing with a lot of cowards with very fragile emotions.
And the thing is, they're alleging that this guy Keith is alleging that Puff Daddy offered him, $1 million to get rid of Pop. Okay, so are you saying you took that money from Puff? Is that what you're saying, or did you say he just made an offer? Because somebody making an offer and somebody taking some bread to go do a hit are two different things, right? If you went to court, I'm pretty sure there would be a difference of how they viewed those, with how they viewed that. And I think Homeboy would have been, well, I mean, I guess he could have got him for slander by saying the offer part. But, I want to know, did you take that money then? Because if that's what you're saying, then Diddy is the one, right?
Well, and then some people are saying that because that there was already a beef there, that he was incentivized to take it to that next level, and it probably would have just been a fight. Which I don't know. I mean, I hear like in this interview, and that's right. Let me play a little bit of it because it kind of goes redundant. That's the reason why it's kind of longer. But I mean, they kind of say most of the stuff in the beginning.
YouTubers, let's get ready. We got content. I'm gonna be real. If he line Puff up, ain't nothing on the West Coast gonna give a about it.
Absolutely not.
This is perfect timing. Puff Daddy somewhere on himself right now.
Oh, that's why he's been giving. He probably knew about this was coming. He knew this was coming.
Let me tell you something, bro. That Keefy D got to be 60, 58, 59, 60.
What's poppin', everybody? Back with another video. In this video, we got Whack 100 in the 100 ENT room. They're talking about Keefy D just getting arrested in connection with Tupac's murder and how this is going to affect Diddy. Let's get into this content. We'll talk after the video. Yeah.
Yo.
What up? What up, Whack?
They just snatching
Whack. What up?
It's looking bad.
They just snatched Keefy D?
They snatched him for the murder of Tupac. And for them to get it,
They had to have something at the house.
for them to get him, they got something.
It seemed like just kept talking.
Bro, look. When I seen that say I'm the one passed him the gun,
it was over with.
You gotta remember, bro, he had amnesty from LA County. Yeah, LA County.
I don't
He ain't have it from Nevada.
Yeah.
The murder happened in Nevada. LA County was investigating it to try to cross it to make it a feds. Remember, Greg Kading said he was contracted through the feds to have a special unit. So when all his work was going back to see if we can cross it to the feds, when that started doing these podcasts, talking about he passed the gun to his nephew, that is accessory.
Yeah. Whack, murder has no statute of limitations either.
Statute of limitations to a body.
And then he was living in Nevada.
He living in Nevada.
And they hit his home in Nevada. A homie owned it. I'm looking now in this.
They're gonna have a press conference in like 11 or 12 Cali time.
We might need to run that.
I don't.
We gotta.
I don't see the exact article, but I am seeing
senior editor for the Huffington Post, and the AD, they came out, and it's just a one-liner, says, Las Vegas police arrest man in suspicion of the murder in the 1996 drive-by of the shooting of Tupac Shakur. AP sources cite the man apprehended is Keefe D. So there it is. They got oh, you can't make that up though. All that talking on Vlad and all that other bullshit, it caught up with him. So I mean, pretty much in this situation on Wack, I don't see what his defense would be.
There isn't one.
there ain't one.
Let me tell you what's about to happen. Because Nevada's bringing the charges, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see the police, Greg Cadence, and his partner, what's the black dude name in the movie? Dupers or whatever they call him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Greg Cadence is retired. The other one is still active.
Yeah.
But them to give him immunity in L.A. means Keefe D did what?
He cooperated and told
He told him what he did, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Keefe D is going to attempt to get up there and say, I was just lying during the interview, saying this is the only route he could take, right? Who you think they're going to call to the stand?
From that point, what you would call the
two officers.
You'll call the two officers.
Yep. What did you give him immunity for? What was said, or what did you guys have proof that whatever? Well, we had proof. It was he told us that he passed the gun.
Mm-hmm.
Now, y'all remember I told you this. Puff Daddy somewhere on himself right now.
Oh, that's why he's been giving. He probably knew about this coming. He knew this coming.
Let me tell you something, bro. That Keefe D got to be 60, 58, 59, 60. If he got out once, what you think he gonna do on nigga who he feel then left him for dead, ain't never acknowledged him, boom, 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 boom.
And Wack, I don't know. Where did the hit take place? How Wack? Who did he come from? Who did he? Everything. This can get ugly. Gonna get nasty, Wack. This can get ugly.
Hey, it's interviews where that lightweight he dry telling already on Puff.
Listen, bro, that 58, he get put in the box.
He ain't doing life.
20 years is life to him. They can get out 20 years with halftime that sound like life.
Facts.
Right? All right. Well, you know what you know. Well, if I give you whoop-de-whoop, whoop-de-whoop-whoop, and I'm going to be real. I'm going to be real. If he line Puff up, ain't a nigga on the West Coast going to give a fuck about it.
Absolutely not.
This is perfect timing for a nigga like him to get out on it, and can't nobody really say nothing because all these niggas that's getting down on this is cool. I'm telling you, that Puff shaking like Don Knotts.
Wack, you just
Man,
opened
you
up
said
for
that 2 years
Wack.
ago too. You hit it right on the head too. Wack. You was right on about it.
Yo, this
everybody be thinking that Wack just be talking.
Like you been said that he should have shut the fuck up. You been said, man, Keefe D need to shut the fuck up and just go live his life, or he need to. You've been saying that. I don't know. Diddy may not be in Vegas for a long time, fellas.
See, he dropping album.
Right when they dropped that motherfucking interview, that's gonna go crazy. Or that mother press conference of them arresting Keefe D. Man, Puffy gonna go lose his mind.
So what they saying? Keefe D did it?
Yup. They arrested him. They arrested him today.
Charging as accessory. They're gonna say he passed the gun because that's what he said.
It's accessory to murder.
That's what he had immunity from the other people saying he did.
Accessory, isn't it? With that.
So yeah, I'll stop it there. I mean, y'all got the gist of it. And if you want to find this, it's just Wack 100 explains why Diddy is scared after Keefe D arrest for Tupac, which I don't think Diddy worried about nothing. Diddy is connected. I think Diddy is in the club. Diddy ain't worried about none of that. But yeah, let's see, a kill. Oh, did you read that, Chris?
Which I don't know. I gotta check it to a kill. I don't know, but
yeah, I don't know either.
again, to me, I think for years we didn't know. Since homeboy Keefe D got on Vlad for the many appearances he's made on that platform, he's told on himself mad times. Mad times. I wonder what it is this time that actually made them go and arrest him. You know what I'm saying? He's old already. It's just weird. Now all the conspiracy theorists are, waxing poetic, as they say about Puff. We're gonna see to what extent they're gonna be able to get Puff. I mean, Puff money long, man. So at the end of the day, you know what I mean? I won't even say Jay-Z. No, he was. I think Jay was in New York, as a matter of fact. Yeah, Big had asked. Well, not for Tupac, but Big had asked Jay to come with him to California, and I think Jay said, "No, I'm gonna just stay back in New York." And luckily for Jay, who knows if they would have been together? Maybe they both would have got caught slipping too. But either way, it's sad that Pac had to die the way that he did.
I found one one little 2-minute one that Streets was talking about. I figured we could check this out real quick before we get out of here. Let's see. So what do you think? I don't think the voice matches, even though he does bear resemblance.
I say that with my MCing, I've been rhyming since like '83. Right. And I started MCing because me and some of my friends, we used to like do this called bag rapping. We call it bagging, right? We talk about somebody's mama and stuff, right? So we would use a word, and then somebody would say a word, and somebody would say the next word, and they would rhyme the next word and stuff. So give you an example and stuff. So we say like, oh, you think you sound like the Fantastic Five? It's more like the Jurassic Five. And that's actually how our group came.
Describing what Jurassic is and stuff, you know what I'm saying, is bringing something old into newer times and stuff. Just like the movie and stuff, and just like that's what Jurassic 5 did. We brought something that was old, that was talked about, but wasn't necessarily seen. And then we brought it back into today's time and stuff, and where people could actually see it and stuff, where it wasn't a myth no more. It was like, this is how actually it was done and whatnot and stuff.
Nah,
I think we represent
I don't see it. Sorry, Street.
A throwback, but a push forward, to the industry right now.
More. I wasn't mad until he trick shot me. It's time I sanitize my posse. Look how paranoid these niggas got me. Singular calls are being traced. Sim surveillance solidly. Mama chill, thug living, pay the bills, I'm down.
Here's another thing that I would say no. Notice the nose. His nose turns up down here at the bottom. Tupac's stays down. That's one thing that I noticed that they don't look the same.
Violently, closed caskets, exposed bastards, I'll leave them bloody. The Lord was sucking, don't let your kids hear a nigga speak on getting money. Ain't nothing funny, cream, got a nigga seeing things. Why? Hit the lie, hope to God I can fly. Lethal weapon, I'm a savage, still a method to my madness. Blast, niggas laugh, call the cash cabbage. Read them and weep, put them to sleep, they hellbound. Lyrics to leave them spellbound, clown now. Tired of being held down, cross my heart, hope to die blinder than some pussy millionaire. Living carefree.
I don't know, I have to hear him rap, because you could be making a fake voice for talking and keep that voice up. But when you're rapping, I think it's a little harder to hold that fake voice, especially if you freestyle it. So in the studio, I don't think it's I don't think so. But that's all we got for tonight. Of course, that's Tupac stuff. We can go on and on and on about it. Correct. I think that he was actually dead. I mean, I remember seeing the Faces of Death thing and then showing his body, and it looked pretty damn convincing to me.
Oh, Marcus, and last thing before we go, who you got tonight? The Charlo brother, or you got Canelo?
I think it's going to a decision, and we're gonna see Canelo walk out with it.
Okay, so you got Canelo.
That would be my guess.
Canelo to win, but yeah, I don't want Canelo to win, but he's gonna win.
I just don't think that Canelo has lost enough steps yet.
Yeah.
I just don't think he lost enough
Mexico
steps.
te amo.
I just don't think he lost enough yet.
Mexico te amo.
Well, they
All right,
they
man,
were
I'm about
doing the
to
ring
go
walk.
I'm about to go watch this fight, though, man. It's about
What
to
you
come
watching it
shit,
on?
$85.
Oh,
on the internet.
Send me the link. Shit.
Oh, all right. I'll send it to you now.
All right. But yeah, on that
All
note,
right,
we're
guys,
gonna close out. We'll see y'all all next week. Thanks for tuning in. Much love to all y'all, and I will be doing a live stream on Hebrew Apologetics tomorrow. Make sure you guys check that out, those who follow. On that, I should probably have it up by the end of the night. And I think it'll probably be about 8 tomorrow night. So that said, y'all all take care of you and yours, and we will see you next week. Well, for political makers.
All right, everybody. Peace out. Marcus, I'll send you the link now.
All right, thanks.